Hey everyone, before we move on to our next tutorial on this Beginner C Sharp series, I'd like to address an issue that came up during our last tutorial on C Sharp. Our last tutorial was about functions, and in that tutorial, I created a function called square foot finder, and I created it in this scope right here. So this main function scope. The main function is used in C Sharp to as a starting point for your program. I wrote our function here inside of this main function because I thought it would be easier to understand if we didn't introduce more information about scopes and compilers and .NET versions and things like that. I did this to make it more easily understandable. However, in trying to make it more easily understandable, I introduced a little bit of an issue. So now the version of C Sharp that I'm using now is a more recent version than what you may have at home, especially if you're using the .NET Fiddle compiler online. So the .NET Fiddle compiler online uses an earlier version of C Sharp that does not support this functionality. So you cannot nest a function in the way that I did here in the current version of .NET Fiddle that's out. So I'm going to show you how to fix that now. So let's copy our code here. I'm going to hit Command C and copy it. And I'm going to I'll minimize this Visual Studio window here. And I'm going to pull over our .NET Fiddle example over here. And I'll run this so we can see it works. It says hello world. But I'm going to paste in our code from the previous tutorial. And as you saw in the previous tutorial, this code all works. I'm going to try to run it now in .NET Fiddle, and we get a compilation error. So now we're getting this error because we've nested the function like I just mentioned. So to fix this, what we can do is I'm going to cut our function out of the code here, and I am going to simply paste it outside of the scope. And I'll fix the indentation here. I paste it outside of our main function scope. So our main function scope starts here and ends here. I've pasted it outside of there. So now all we have to do is declare it as public and static. So now that we've done that, if we run our program, we can see that we have our program running perfectly fine. And we can enter in our parameters here, and we get out the correct result. So this is how you fix the compiler issue with lower versions of C Sharp.